guys, welcome back to my channel. So two things to start off with. I am sorry about the lighting in this video, but it is doomy and gloomy today and I am having to film with my overhead lights and with my lamp. Second thing, which kind of leads me into this video, is I'm coming at you today with two pretty different brows, and that is for a reason. So today I'm bringing you a tutorial for brows aimed mostly at beginners, because I am still pretty much a beginner. So I thought I would bring to you a quick brow tutorial using a few different brow products that are out on the market to give you a demonstration of how I do my brows, a breakdown of the types of brow products that are on the market that are available, and just a way to achieve different looking brows using these different products from a beginner. So I am relatively new to makeup. I'm not professionally trained and I am only someone who has quite recently started filling in my brows. I would like to just start off by saying that I prefer on myself a more natural brow look for every day. I am quite lucky with my brow shape and my brow hairs. They aren't too sparse. They don't need a lot of help to get them to how I like them to be, I guess. I like kind of a natural feathery looking brow. That's just my personal opinion of what suits me best. But when I do want a little bit more drama, something to hold a little bit better, and something that's going to give a bolder, more defined look, I will reach for a product like a brow pomade. So if you would like to see my breakdown of the brow products and how I achieve my brows, then please just keep on watching. Okay, so I'm firstly going to start with a breakdown of the products on the market with the brow products that I own, which now that I'm looking at them is quite a few. So there are a few defined categories in terms of brow products, which I would classify as brow pencils, as brow gels, as brow pomades, and brow powders. And so I have something in all of those categories to show you today, and I'm going to start off with brow pencils. And so I have a few brow pencils from a few different brands. I have 3 from the drugstore to show you and 2 higher end. And I'll start with the 2 higher end as they are both by Anastasia Beverly Hills. And I own the Brow Definer, which is this chubbier looking pencil, and the Brow Wiz, which is significantly thinner. And so I own both of these colors in taupe. And I find that because of my light blonde hair, these colors suit my brow hairs and my hair color quite nicely. The next one that I have that is relatively new to me, but a great find from the drugstore, and it is by Essence. It is the Our Eyebrow Designer in 05 Soft Blonde. I don't love that it has these kind of bristles here, just like the Australis one I will talk about next. It has the bristles on the cap, which I don't love, but this was only a couple of dollars. And I find that it does the job quite well. It is a nice color for my brows. It is you have to manually sharpen it. It isn't a retractable pencil, so that is a bit of a bummer. I do prefer retractable brow pencils and brow pencils that include a spoolie, just like the Anastasia ones. But for a few dollars, and if you're just starting off with your brows, something like this will be awesome to learn with. It also has quite a light, waxy formula, and so it is hard to go overboard on this. You do have to work it in a little bit, but if you're just beginning, that might be something that you find very beneficial. And the next one is by Australis, very similar concept as the Eyebrow Designer by Essence. This is the one by Australis, similar color, because I don't change my hair color or my brow color that often. You have to actually press a little bit harder on this one, and this is a little bit warmer in terms of color. So the bottom one here is the Australis one. But same kind of concept. It has the bristles on here, and it is a manual sharpen one that you have to manually sharpen. I don't know what the term is for that. So I would say, I picked this one up a little while ago, but I would say probably to maybe give this a miss and try out this first, because it is quite a bit cheaper. And if you're just starting out, they would be products that I think would work quite nicely so that you get the feel of filling in your brows. The next product is again from the drugstore, and it's very old, but I've pulled it out of my stash and I'm wondering if there's anything even left. Okay, I'm clicking. There is the tiniest little bit left in the tube here, and these, just like the Anastasia ones, are retractable. And it has a spoolie on the end, but mine's a little bit gunky because I used it so much. And so I actually have been through 2 of these. I had it in a blonde color, and when I went ombre with brunette at the top, I did actually like a darker looking brow, so I picked up this color, which is dark brown. I really liked this formula, but from memory they only had a blonde color and a dark brown color. So this is significantly darker than the other two. And it's actually really easy, so I'm just going to swatch again under this. It's really easy. I'm just pushing really lightly, unlike I had to do with the other two, to get color payoff with this. What I will say though, it is quite a thick tip on this one, as opposed to something like the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, which is very, very small. But if you're kind of progressing from something like the Essence Eyebrow, I'll get it in a minute, from the Essence Eyebrow Designer, and you want to step it up just a little bit, then I did enjoy the Revlon one for quite some time. But I would have to say that after finally purchasing the Anastasia products back in March, that I absolutely love them. And if you're someone who feels comfortable filling in their brows and wants a really good, reliable product, then definitely check out the Brow Wiz or the Brow Definer. So the next category is brow gels. So I have a few here, all from the drugstore, and brow gels are great because you can get them in a clear variety or a tinted variety. You can get one that's just the gel, some that have fibers in them to help build up the brow, and you can get them to either just brush up and set your brows without having to do anything else, and a brow or a tinted one is great for that. Or you can use them to set in place any other work that you've done with a pencil or a powder or a pomade or anything like that, as a kind of top coat to set everything in and keep everything in place. So you can use them by themselves, or you can use them in conjunction with other products. So I have here the L'Oreal Brow Artist Plumper, and this has been talked about really widely here on YouTube and Pinterest and Instagram, and I have it in the shade light medium. And so I'll set the other ones down here, but it has a long wand and quite a big head. And so you'll see what I mean when I compare it to some of the others. But this has a tint to it, as you can kind of see by the color of the wand. And it has tiny little fibers built into the gel that actually help build up your brows and give them a little bit more volume without having to actually draw them in. And so something like that is great. If you like something like that, a cheaper alternative that I have found and that I've actually been reaching for over the Brow Artist Plumper, that one was running low and I'd considered repurchasing it, but I thought I would try something else, and I'm glad I did actually. This was a couple of dollars, and again by the brand Essence, and this is the Make Me Brow. Now what I love about this is that it has a tiny little wand, and it does have a bit of a tint to it, and it has fibers, so it is easier to use a brow gel or a brow mascara that has a smaller wand, especially if you have quite thin brows, to help really get in there and really shape your brows without kind of getting that gel everywhere. Two others that I have that I haven't reached for in a while, but I thought I would include anyway, is the Rimmel Brow This Way, and this one is in 02 medium brown. Again, this one has quite a massive wand in comparison to the other two that I've just shown. And if you want a clear variety, I believe that all three that I've previously shown has a clear option in their range, I believe. But I picked up this one, which is actually I believe this was gifted to me, the Clear Brow and Lash Mascara from e.l.f. And so one side is designed as a brow gel, which is this one. And you can see it's kind of got a bit of a tint to it, but it was originally clear, just with having used products previously and then using the spoolie to brush out my brows. It has picked up a little bit of that product. But when I got desperate and hadn't picked up another brow gel, I just used the other side, which is a clear mascara. Did the job just fine. So that was only a couple of dollars, I believe, as is the Essence Make Me Brow. So if you're after something just quite affordable, if you're just starting out with your brows, or you're after something just to help set them in place or give a little bit more color and volume, I would definitely suggest checking out those. Okay, so the next one is by quite a few brands. This one here is by Models Prefer, and it is the Essential Brow Kit, and mine is in light to medium, but it is actually quite dark, I found. And I just found the powders quite dark and quite bold, even for a medium. But it does come with a brow wax or a brow kind of gel type consistency, just like quite similar to a pomade quite a type consistency, and then a powder that goes on top. And so it actually comes with a really little tiny set of tweezers and an angled brush, so you've got all the tools in one. I just personally prefer using a brush or a pomade or a gel, a brow gel type product, but I did enjoy this little kit, this little all-in-one kit some time ago. And so if you're after something from the drugstore that is all-in-one, it has a powder, it has a wax, then it might be worth checking this one out. Okay, so I have one last category to share with you, and that is the category of a brow pomade. And so what a brow pomade is comes in a little tub like this. My one here is from Anastasia Beverly Hills in the shade Taupe, and it is the Dip Brow Pomade. Comes in a little gel pot like this, and the product is like a gel type consistency. And when I say that, imagine like a gel eyeliner. It's that kind of consistency, and you use it with a brush to apply. So I like to use my Dip Brow with the number 12 brush by Anastasia Beverly Hills. It is a dual-ended brush with a tip on one side and a spoolie on the other. Just makes things nice and simple. One thing to throw in the makeup bag. You can brush out your brows and any excess product and then apply the product all in one brush, or with one brush, not all in one brush. Okay, so now I'm going to go into a demonstration on two of the products, and the two products, well actually it's three products that I use on an everyday basis, and it is my Brow Wiz by Anastasia Beverly Hills in Taupe, and also my brow pomade or the Dip Brow by Anastasia Beverly Hills again in the color Taupe as well. And I do show me setting both of my brows in with the Essence Make Me Brow. So if you want to see the kind of different effect and a tutorial or a demonstration of how I apply my brows, then please keep watching to the next bit. Okay, so the first product that I'm going to use today is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. So it's quite a popular, quite a well-known product, and what I love about this product is that it does come with a spoolie on one end, and it's very, very finely tipped. And so what that allows is for more precise control when you're drawing in the brows, and it's easier to kind of work in the product and not go overboard really quickly with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the spoolie side and I'm going to start brushing through my brows. Just so that they're in place. And then with the other side where the actual product sits, as you can see, it's quite tiny. I'm just going to wind that up. It is retractable, so you don't need to worry about sharpening it. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start lightly filling in the brows in short strokes, short hair-like strokes. Okay, as I'm going, I also like to run the spoolie through and just evenly distribute the product so that you've got no build-up or no clumps. It also helps to kind of diffuse any harsh lines that the pencil's created. Okay, so now I'm quite happy with the center portion and the tail of my brow. I like to keep mine quite natural. I'm not someone who really loves really intense bold brows for every day. I like to kind of just keep my natural shape and just kind of fill in any sparse areas or anywhere that looks a little bit blank or patchy, just so that it kind of looks even throughout the entire brow. So because I am blonde, I do find that even though I get my brows tinted, they do look a little bit sparse throughout the brow, especially towards the tail. So I like to just follow the natural curve of my brow and fill in anywhere that's a little bit sparse. So once I've done that, then I'm going to move on to the center portion, or sorry, the front portion of the brow, which is just in this bit here. Okay, and so for that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue doing small hair-like strokes, pushing the pencil upwards. So I don't want to drag it or create any harsh lines while doing this, because it'll make the center portion of the brow look quite blockish. And I'm just going to try and maintain the natural look of my brows and just fill them in so they're not as sparse. So again, I'm taking that spoolie and I'm just running the spoolie through my brows to make sure there's no buildup of product. And then I'm going to go back in again and just build it up until I'm happy with how that looks. Okay, and then before I finish up, I just make sure that I'm happy with how all of that looks. And so here I realize that my tail is a little bit light, so I'm just going to go in and fix that up. So just when you're starting out, you just want to take really short little strokes, just so that you don't go overboard and so that they look as natural as possible by maintaining that those hair-like strokes. Okay, so as I said, I don't like mine too precise or too perfect. I do like them to maintain that kind of naturality to them. So I'm happy they look a little bit fuller, a little bit more defined, a little bit more colored. And so I'm going to go ahead and set that in. And to do that, I'm going to use this product from the drugstore by the brand Essence, and it is the Essence Make Me Brow. So the Make Me Brow has a tiny little wand, and it actually contains fibers in the formula that help build a fuller brow. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this tiny little wand and I'm just going to run that through my brows, and this is going to help just add a little bit more color, a a little bit more fullness with those little fibers, and it's also going to help to set this all in place. Okay, so you can already see the difference between this eyebrow and this eyebrow. It just looks a little bit more structured, a little bit more filled in, and a little bit bolder in terms of its color, and that's all that I'm going for on an everyday basis. Okay, so the next product that I am going to demonstrate using is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow, and this is in the shade taupe, just like my Brow Wiz is. All three of my brow products from Anastasia are in the taupe color, as I feel that they are the colors that suit my hair and my brow color best. And what this is, it is a pomade, and so what that is it's kind of like a gel consistency, and when I say gel I mean like almost like a gel eyeliner consistency, so it's that creamy kind of consistency in a pot form. And what you do is you actually use a brush similar to this to apply the product. And so the brush that I like to use with my pomade is the number 12 Anastasia Beverly Hills brush, and it is a double-sided brush with a small angled brush or small angled bristles on one side and a spoolie brush on the other. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of product on the brush, and if you get it too much, what I actually like to do is just to use the cap. As you can see, I do this quite often, and I'm just going to coat the brush on both sides, wipe off any excess so that it's not too chunky and you don't have an overload of product, and evenly disperse it along the bristles of the brush, like so. And then I'm going to go in again and brush my brow hair before I start applying any product. So what I love about this brush is that it is double-sided, and so it is essentially two brushes in one. I have my spoolie on one end and I have my actual brow brush on the other. And so what I like to do with this one is I actually do like to go in with my tail first. This is going to give you a more structured look, a more bold look to the brows. That's what it is designed to do. It is a bolder formula. It is it's easier to get that bolder brow look. So if that's what you're after, then the dip brow might be the option for you. And so what I'm going to do is take that brush and I'm going to trace, again in like those small hair-like strokes, I'm going to trace my tail, my brow tail. And then from the tail, I'm going to move to the center portion of my eyebrow. And then if I need a little bit more product, there is still product in the cap, so I'm just going to go ahead and reload the brush with a bit of product from the cap that we got from the actual pot earlier. Okay, so I'm going to very carefully here go along the top portion of my brow. And again, brushing through any excess product so that you don't have an overload of product. This is quite important when using a dip brow product or a brow pomade. And then I'm just going to take a little bit more from the cap, and I'm going to reload my brush once more so I can do the center and the beginning portion of my eyebrow. So here what I'm doing, there are lots of different ways that people do this center portion, but I'm slanting the brush downwards, and then I'm going in like that and just doing those small hair-like strokes through the center, the beginning portion of my eyebrow. And then I'm going to brush that through so there's no build-up of product and so that it looks quite natural. Okay, so here I've got a little bit of excess product built up in my brows, and so I'm just using that spoolie to really comb that through. So as you can see, both products achieve or help you achieve two different looks. So the brow pomade or the Anastasia Dip Brow, which I have on this eyebrow, is a lot more bolder, a lot more structured, whereas my brow on this side, which is the Brow Wiz, is more natural looking. It's just helping to fill in the brow hairs that are already there. It's just giving it a little bit more structure, a little bit more color, and help filling in that sparseness, where you can actually recreate your brow structure or really get a bold look using a brow pomade product like the Dip Brow. You can also use the Dip Brow product to just outline your brows or to help you draw in the shape of your brows, because it'll stay place and it is that bolder color. And then you can go in with pencil product and fill in the center or help fill it in over the top. And then even though the brow pomade does have a little bit of hold to it, I do like to go in again with something like the Essence Make Me Brow or a brow gel product, just to keep everything in place. I don't really need the extra fibers or anything in this because it already does have quite a bold look. But this product here I do like because it is tinted and because I have it here anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and set that all in place with my Make Me Brow. Like so. Okay, so there we have it. There are two quite different looks but using similar products, so it really just depends on what you feel comfortable with. If you are a beginner, I do suggest starting out with a pencil type product like the Brow Wiz or any of the drugstore alternatives that I showed you earlier in the video, and then once you get more comfortable, then feel free to go to something like a brow pomade like the Anastasia Dip Brow. Just have fun with it. Remember, makeup washes off at the end of the day and practice makes perfect. Okay, and that is it for this video. Thank you so much for joining me again. I hope you found this breakdown of all the different brow products to be helpful. I hope that you found the tutorial helpful. As I said before, I am only a relative beginner to this makeup world, and everyone has a personal style, but I hope that I just gave you a few pointers and a few tips based on how I do my brows. Thank you so much for joining me once again, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!
Okay, so the first product I'm going to use on this eyebrow is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Definer. No, it's not. And that is all for